students, welcome back to our YouTube channel IS Mechanical Academy. I am your educator Shubham Parashar. So friends, there is one announcement for you that some students reviewed me, sir, they don't understand Hindi well, so can you please explain in English? So from today onwards, we are explaining in Hindi and English both. We use basically English, some part in Hindi, some part in English, so that every student can easily understand the subject. Okay. So basically, student, till now we are doing what? The fixed mass analysis, various type of processes we find, and the work done we find from the processes. Okay, so let's do something about heat interactions. Basically, what is the mode of heat? So energy interactions. There are basically three modes. We will know what: work interaction, heat interaction, and mass interaction. Work interaction we will already covered in the last class. Fixed mass analysis of work interaction. All work interactions we can find out the processes of constant volume, temperature, adiabatic. So now let's discuss something about heat interactions. So basically, heat interactions. So friends, what is heat? Can you explain what is heat? Friends, there is no precise definition for heat, but we can say that heat is basically what? Energy content. Heat is what? Energy content. Energy content is termed as heat. Basically, we can also explain heat as how. Heat, we can also explain heat as how. It is the method of energy. It is the method of energy transfer which takes place due to temperature difference. What? It is the method of energy transfer due to temperature difference. This is also termed as heat. What is heat transfer? What is heat transfer? Can you explain it? Heat transfer, basically transfer of heat due to the temperature variations. If certain, for example, a cup of coffee. This is a cup of coffee, and you hear Chandu. Chandu taking a cup of hot coffee. Let us say its temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. A very hot coffee. Chandu takes a hot coffee mug. Chandu takes a hot coffee mug in hand, and let us say its temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, and ambient temperature, let us say 28 degrees Celsius. Let us say 28 degrees Celsius. Then Chandu holding the cup of coffee in hand and start talking to another friend. They start talking to another friend. Chandu feels that the coffee is hot. Then after some time, Chandu feels that the coffee is not hot. It start decreasing their temperature. Why? Why it start losing the heat? Why it start losing the heat? Because of the temperature difference. Because of the temperature difference, the heat loses its energy, and this energy goes to ambient. Ambient means environment. So basically, what will happen here? Also, first of thermodynamics is applied. We will apply heat. We will give energy to this, and after releasing from here, its temperature increases, its internal energy increases, it consumes the energy. When this feels that they will lose the contact here, they start losing here the energy. Provided we cannot insulate this. We cannot insulate this. It will start losing energy. Okay. So this is basically why is this happening here, because the temperature difference. So we can say that temperature difference is also a mode for which energy interactions can take place. Energy interaction can take place. Let us take another example of cold drink. We know cold drink is very cold, but if we stay the cold drink on the bench and after some time we feel that they losing their heat, they start gaining heat, and the cold drink becomes hotter and hotter and hotter. And when will they will stop to consuming heat? They will stop to consuming heat when the temperature reaches to the ambient temperature or the surrounding temperature. Okay, this is our system. If we study this is our system, and all other things are surrounding. Okay, friend. So this is basically all about the heat interaction. So one other term comes is specific heat. What is it? What is specific heat, friend? Another term is specific heat. What is it? What is specific heat? It is the amount of energy required to increase unit mass temperature by unit T. So we can say that specific heat basically what? Specific heat is amount of energy required to change the temperature. If, let us understand this. This is a substance. This is a substance. If its mass is unity. Let us say 1 unit. If we want to increase the temperature of this substance by 1 degree Celsius, then we will apply a heat or energy to the substance. Then how much energy we will apply to the substance so that its temperature increases by 1 degree Celsius is basically represented by specific heat. It is the specific heat. Okay, so we can say that tau is the energy content which we supply is directly proportional to M. More the mass, more energy it will consume, more energy we will required to increase the temperature. Are you getting my point? So tau is directly proportional to dt. Dt is what? This is the temperature of source. This is source. From here we can supply heat. This is the temperature of source. This is the temperature of body. More the difference between these two temperatures, more energy will consume by the substance. So it is also directly proportional to T. So we can say that tau is directly proportional to mdt. If we neglect this, we can write as mc dt. What is C? C is basically specific heat. It is specific heat. Okay, friends. So this is basically specific. A term comes specific heat at constant volume, specific heat at constant pressure. What is this? What is this? Basically, specific heat at constant volume is nothing but amount of heat required to increase the temperature by unity. Amount of heat required to increase the temperature by unity for a unit mass substance at constant volume process. For a constant volume process, it is represented by Cv. For a constant pressure process, it is represented by Cp. But for किसके लिए हम इसको यूज करते हैं? For compressible substances. Okay. So what's the value of Cp and Cv? We know Cv, Cp and Cv. A term comes Cp is greater than Cv always. Why this Cp is always greater than Cv? Let us understand this. let us we have two cylinders. This is piston, this is piston, and one follow constant volume process and another follow constant pressure process. This follow constant volume process, this follow constant pressure process. Okay. So what will happen if we supply heat to the fluid? This is fluid. Here this is fluid. This is fluid. Inside the piston there is a fluid. If we supply heat to fluid, its internal energy start increasing. The amount of molecules present inside the cylinder, they will consume the heat and increases their temperature. Or we can say that increases the heat content. Heat content start increasing here. What will happening here? If we supply heat to here, let us say Q, what will happening? Internal energy also start increasing. Also, this can start moving upward, because these molecules, when they gain the energy content, when they gain the heat, they will start colliding each other and will exert a force on the piston, and the piston start moving upward. So we can find what we can find. We can find the work output. We can say this is a boundary work. This is our boundary. This crosses the piston crosses the boundary. What will find we? We find the boundary work. So this is basically all about what? That constant pressure process includes what? Both internal energy and boundary work. But in case of constant volume process, it includes only internal energy. So amount of heat required for constant pressure process is higher than the constant volume process. Amount of heat required for constant process is higher than the amount of heat required for a constant process. Are you getting my point? So we can say that we know Q is equal to mc dt. Q is equal to mc dt. So what is C? Q upon m dt. This is if for CV, if this is increasing, we know that Q is increasing, then CV start also increasing. All thing remains like this is constant. For both processes, we can assume same mass, same quantity of mass, and same temperature. We can changing. This is constant. Yeah, this is source. Let us say at 40 degrees Celsius. This is fluid. Let us say 30 degrees Celsius. The difference between the two is same, but the amount of heat we supplied is increases. Amount of heat which we supplied increases in case of Cp. So Cp start increases. Thus we can say that Cp is greater than Cv. Are you getting my point? Because it includes both internal energy and boundary work. Amount of heat required for this is more. So we can say that Cp is always greater than Cv. This is basically all about this. Hope you understand the example. Okay, students. So now we will move towards. So basically, we see that Cp and Cv, that these two terms, friends, Cp and Cv, these two terms comes in picture when we talk about the compressible substances. Gas is a compressible substance. Here is the fluid particle. The fluid is what? Is a gas. So we use both terms Cp and Cv in case of incompressible substances. What is incompressible substance? There are two incompressible substances we already know: solid, liquid. For these incompressible substances, what is the specific heat? As the name suggests, incompressible. Their volume not changing. They are not compressing. They are not expanding. They are staying same. So we can say that these what process they follow? Constant volume process. So what is C for incompressible fluid? C is equal to Cv. For incompressible, C is equal to Cv. So we cannot use two terms here, Cp and Cv, because For income, this is the incompressible substance, and for that there is only one constant volume process that is possible. Another process is not possible. If these incompressible start expanding freely, then we can say that there is a possibility constant pressure process also, but it is not. It is stays same. So we can say that C is equal to Cv. This is an important one. Acha, let us for adiabatic process. We know what is the Cp and Cv for constant volume process. We know the Cp and Cp for constant pressure process. And what is the value of specific heat for adiabatic process? Can you explain this for adiabatic? What is value of C? Tell. What is the value of C? So friends, we know for adiabatic process there is no heat transfer. Heat transfer is zero. There is no heat transfer. Means dQ is zero. So we can say that C क्या होता है? Q by m dt. If this is zero, then the whole term is zero. C specific heat is for adiabatic process is zero. Okay, are you getting my point? And for isothermal process, as the name suggests, isothermal, its temperature remains constant. Then the difference between the temperature is zero. Dt is equal to zero. Then what will happen? C is equal to Q upon m dt. If Q upon zero comes to infinity. Sometimes 1 mark question comes from this SSC JEE, SSC JEE and many exams. Okay friends, many state exams, these terms comes in exam many times. Okay, so this is all about the specific heat. We understand the specific heat. Okay friends, so what is the ratio of Cp and Cv? Cp, Cv. What is the ratio? What is it? It is say gamma. Gamma is index. Are you getting a point? What is Cp and Cv? It is defined as a gamma. Gamma is the index. Now what will happen, friends? In case of monoatomic gases, there are various type of gases. Some are polytropic gases, some are polyatomic gases, some are monatomic gases. In case of monatomic gases are what? What do you mean by monatomic? Monatomic gases are what? If Cp increases, Cv increases, their ratio gamma remains constant. For monatomic gases, so we can say that this is Cp, this is Cv, this is Cp, this is Cv. Here is temperature, here is specific heat C. It remains constant. The ratio remains constant. Okay friends, in case of polytropic, Cp increases, Cv increases, their ratio start decreasing. For what? For polyatomic gases, this is Cp, this is Cv, this is temperature. This is the plots of for what plot? This is for polyatomic gases. This is for what? Monatomic gases. Okay friends, let us take an example. Suppose gamma is equal to, what is value of Cp for gases for air 1.005 upon 0.718. Okay, if we add one both, plus 1, if their ratio this remains constant, it means it is a monatomic gas. Are you getting my point? If it decreases, it means it is a polyatomic gases. It means polyatomic gas. Now there are three gases basically. What? Polyatomic, monatomic, and triatomic. What is the value of 4? For polyatomic, basically value is 1.4. For monatomic, basically value is 1.67. For triatomic, basically value is 1.33. Are you getting my point? These are the values for gamma of the various processes. Oh, sorry, various gases. Various gases. Triatomic 1.33. This is 3. 1.67 for monatomic, polyatomic 1.4. Are you getting my point? This is basically all about this. Polytropic we can also get, poly means 2. We can say it is a diatomic. Okay friends, so this is basically all about the Cp and Cv. Now let's move further. Friends, till now we will basically covering the fixed mass analysis, the various processes of work done and heat interactions, and we understand what is specific heat and what is heat content. This we are covering. So now let us do some numericals on the topics which we are covering basically. Let us do some numericals because so friends, this is a problem for you. Air in a well insulated room is circulated by a 0.85 horsepower fan driving by 60% efficient motor. Find the rate of energy supplied to room. This is a very basic problem. Hope you were able. So just stop the screen here. Just pause and try to solve this. I am explaining this. So air in a well insulated room. This is our insulated room. This is our insulated room. We can insulate this like that. This is insulated room. So it is circulated by a motor, by a fan. This is a fan. A fan here. Okay. So basically what will happen here, friends? First of all, so friends, now we know we can solve this problem. First of all, this is a insulated room. This is our insulated room. Okay, there is a fan which can circulate all these molecules of air, and this is motor, and energy is supplied in terms of work to motor, and motor start rotating the fan, and this fan can circulate the air molecules inside the room, and it is well insulated. So what will happening here? First of all, you know about the conversion formula of horsepower into watt. So 1 horsepower is equal to 745 watts. If you know that formula, then you are able to easily solve the problem. If you don't know, then you are stuck with horsepower. This is the formula. Remember this. This is the standard formula for converting horsepower into watt. Now, dosto, friends, now efficiency of motor is what? Q input upon Q supplied. This is the formula for efficiency of motor. But amount of energy which is input divided by amount of energy which is output. This is the formula for efficiency of motor. Now energy supplied must be equal to room. Energy supplied room is equal to what? Energy input divided by efficiency. Like 745 into 0.5 upon 0.65. What we are getting, friends? Let's solve this. We are getting approximate 573.06 watts. Okay, this is our answer, friends. This is our answer. This is a very basic problem, very easy problem. Hope you are understanding it well. Another problem, let us understand what is the problem. A piston cylinder as shown in figure, this is figure, contains air at 250 kilopascal and 300 degrees Celsius. The 50 kg piston, the piston mass is 50 kg of dia 0.1 meter. Its dia is 0.1 meter. This is 0.1 meter. This is 0.1 meter, okay, and initially pushes against stops. These are stoppers. They do not move the piston. They try to stop the piston, and piston try to move upward. Okay, they try to stop. Okay, the atmospheric pressure is 100 kilopascal and 20 degrees Celsius. This is atmospheric pressure 100 degrees Celsius, 20 degrees Celsius, 100 kilopascal and 20. The cylinder cools as heat transfer to ambient. अब हुआ क्या? There is a heat transfer to ambient. Ambient के अंदर heat transfer हो गया इस तरह से. This is heat transfer to ambient. And what we can find out, at what temperature does the piston begin to move down? जब piston मूव डाउन करना शुरू होगा, वो टेम्परेचर कितना होगा? जस्ट पिस्टन मूव करना शुरू होगा, हमें वो टेम्परेचर निकालना है दोस्तों. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हमें वो प्रेशर निकालना पड़ेगा. वी विल फाइंड द प्रेशर, दैट प्रेशर, सो दैट पिस्टन ट्राई टू मूव डाउन, सो दैट पिस्टन ट्राई टू मूव डाउन. सो कैन वी कैन यूज द रिलेशन. व्हाट रिलेशन? एक्चुअली व्हाट विल दिस? Is it a constant volume process? The piston neither move upward nor move downward. They will try to move upward, but this is stay here. This is stay here. So it is a constant volume process. You know, at constant volume process, what is P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. This is the formula. P1 and T1 is what? Initial conditions. Initially what? P1 is 250 degrees Celsius initially, and temperature is 300 degrees Celsius. If we know the pressure, pressure or at the second stage is what? Second stage is what? When the piston is trying to just move down, If we know that pressure, then what we will know? If we know that pressure, then we can easily find out the temperature when the piston try to move down. Let us find out the dead pressure. How we can find out? Let us understand this. This is our piston, the fluid body diagram of piston. This is our piston. From here, what is the value of pressure? Pressure is 250 kilopascal. Okay, and from here, what is the value of pressure? Pressure is 100 kilopascal. And the mass of the piston is also downward. What is the mass? 50 kg. So what is the total downward force? Total downward force is what? P atmospheric into area of piston is the force. Pressure into area is equal to force plus mg is equal to. This is the total force. This is the total force. Okay. Okay friends, this is the total force is equal to what? Pressure inside the cylinder. At what condition? Just try to move down. We can say it is P1. Just try to move down. It is P1. Okay. Into A1 area of piston. So we can, from here we can find out P1. What is the value of P1? We can easily find out. We know area of piston. How we can find out? We have dia pi by 4 d square is equal to how much? Let us use the calculator. Pi by 4 into 0.1 का whole square. It is 7.85 into 10 की power minus 3 meter square. Just when putting in this equation, we will get the value of pressure. How much? 100 kilopascal into 10 की power minus 3 into 7.85. This into 1000. This plus 50 into 9.81. We use GMG. Okay, this and divided by 7.85 divided by 10 की power minus 3. What will happen? What is the value of P? We will find 162.484 kPa. Are you getting the same value, students? Are you getting the same value? This is the pressure inside when the piston try to move down. Okay, because this pressure will exert initially when the piston try to push upwards. At what pressure? It is just stay here. We will balance the from internal forces and external forces. Then we can find out the pressure P1. At that pressure, it is just hold on. The upward force must be equal to the downward force. It is that pressure. What we initially find? Just put the value of this P1 into this equation. What will we get? What is P1? P1 is friend 250 kilopascal divided by initially temperature 300. Put here temperature in Kelvin. Temperature in Kelvin. Okay, friends. So 300 plus 273. What is 573? Now we can find 162.48 pressure. Now T2, what is the value of T2? T2 is nothing but 162.48 divided by 250. 372.40 Kelvin. Or we can say that in terms of degree Celsius, 99.40 degrees Celsius. This is our answer. Friends, this is our answer. Hope you enjoy the question. Like this type of question, recent in 2020 GATE exam, like same question, but the values are changes. The same question we can find out the temperature is in 2020 GATE paper. Same in 2020 GATE exam. Okay, friends, you can check the. So friends, this is another problem for us. How we can tackle like these problems. If PV diagram is given to us, then examiners tell what is the area under the work done. We know that area under the PV diagram is basically work done. Just simply by using the geometry, we can easily find out the work done. How? Work done is area of triangle ABC plus triangle ACD is equal to total work done. Our work done is area under this curve. This is our work done. This is our work done, friends. Then just apply here 6 minus 4 into 1. Just apply the values. We can tan. What is it? Tan is what? Here P is in bar. 10 into we can multiply 10 to the power 5. Just 10 to the power 5 joules. This is our answer. Work done. Because 1 bar is equal to what? 1 bar is equal to what? 10 to the power 5 Newton meter or 10 to the power 5 of joules. This is the conversion. So this type of question sometimes asked in 1 marks SSCJ. This type of questions asked many times. So student, hope you understand this question. Now we will start first law of thermodynamics. What is first law? What is first law of thermodynamics? Basically, we know from 11th, 12th, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can change from one form to another. Total energy remains the conserved. It is a basic definition of the first law of thermodynamics. First law given by whom? By Joule's. It is also called Joule's law or law of conservation of energy. So basically, what is the definition of first law according to Joule's? Joule's ने क्या बताया? I mean, okay, according to Joule's, for a closed cycle, you just remembering my words, just focus on my words, what I am saying, friends. Okay. So according to Joule's, for a closed system undergoing a cycle, net heat transfer is equal to net work transfer. Joule said, for a closed system undergoing a cycle, net heat transfer is equal to net work ट्रांसफर। दोस्तों ये सभी का होता है कि नेट हीट ट्रांसफर इज इक्वल टू नेटवर्क ट्रांसफर, नेट हीट ट्रांसफर इज इक्वल टू नेटवर्क ट्रांसफर, पर दे डोंट नो वेयर टू अप्लाई दिस। There is a very important thing in this definition. What? For a closed cycle. Friends, for a closed cycle, this relation is valid for what? For closed cycle. This is an important point. For a cycle, this relation is valid, not for a process. And second thing, for both reversible and irreversible processes. For both reversible and irreversible processes. So we can rewrite it as what? Q net is equal to W net. For basically, where we can find this? It is where it comes from. Actually, friends, we know what? According to law of conservation of energy, net energy input net, minus net energy net output is equal to what? Change in energy. We know this friends. Net energy input minus net energy output is equal to, we can write it as long. Hope you write this. So friends, energy input net minus energy output net is equal to change in energy, total change in energy. This is all about. Okay friends, now for a cycle, remember about for a cycle, this is a cycle P V. This is a cycle. This is one point. Okay, this is a cycle. This is second point. For a cycle, initial and final conditions are same. We reach the same point. So that for a cycle, change in energy is zero. Total energy change is zero because initial and final conditions are same. Change in energy is zero. So we can write as energy input must be equal to energy output. But for closed system, friends, for a closed system, there are two type of transfers. What? Energy, by heat interaction or work interaction, there is no mass interaction. There are only two interactions possible. What? Heat interaction or mass or work interactions. Heat interactions or work interaction. So we can rewrite as what? Q energy input, net energy input, net energy output. Okay, energy input in terms of, suppose this is a system. Some Q1 quantity heat added to system, some Q2 quantity heat rejected from the system. This is our system. Some W1 added from system, some W2 rejected from the system. So how we can write as Q net input, energy net input. What is energy net input? This is input, this is input. It means Q1 input plus W1 input must be equal to net energy output. What? Q2 output plus W2 output. Okay friends, we can rearrange this like Q1 minus Q2 is equal to W2 minus W1. What they represent? Q net. What this represent? W net. But according to Joule said, according to the system undergoing a cycle, net heat transfer is equal to net work transfer. What we are getting? Net heat transfer is equal to net work transfer. This is basically the proof. How we can prove the theoretically. This is all about. This is system energy input and output interaction. We can find out. So we can get this relation. So basically, let us take a practical example, friends. What is the practical example which we can seen in general life? The practical example is our food. Friends, our food is a practical example. How? We take foods from out. We take food. Food is a form of energy. We take food, and while taking food, after taking the food, what will happen? Some food are coming out the body, some food are coming out the body, and some they increase the energy of the body. Increase the energy means fat. We increases fat. We are getting more fatter. We are getting more fatter. So energy we absorb from our mouth can be converted into fatness. It means total energy remains conserved. Suppose this is a human. This is energy input. This is energy input. We can eat food. This is energy input. So it consumes in our body. It consumes in our body. Then with the fat. What is the fat for consuming the that energy? We increases our fat. Fat increases. So this is the energy conservation. This energy not going anywhere. This energy can be converted into fat of itself. Okay, students. So this is the energy conservation. So this is basically all about the first law. Let's discuss about the consequences of first law. So what is the consequences of first law? First one is what? First one is what? Heat transfer is a path function. So friends, heat transfer is a path function. Heat transfer is a path function. How we can, let us understand how heat transfer is a path function. Let us retry PV diagram. This is our PV diagram, friends. Now this is our origin. Okay friends, now let us say this is a stage 1 and this is a stage 2. Okay, from 1 to 2 we are going through path A. Okay friends, from 2 to 1 we have two process paths. One is path B, this is path B, and another is path C. This is path C. Okay friends, this is path C. Now according to first law of thermodynamics, what? According to first law of thermodynamics, what? Del Q is equal to is a cyclic process. Is a cyclic process. Yes, it is a complete cycle. It is a complete cycle. Net heat transfer is equal to net work transfer. ठीक है? For a process 1A, 2 and B, 1A, 2, B1. For process 1A, 2, B1. What is happening? Heat transfer from 1 to 2 means Q1A2, Q1A2. Work done during this process. Friends, work done during this process plus Q2B1. Heat transfer from this must be equal to W1A2 plus W2B1. This is first equation. From this first law of thermodynamics, this is first equation. For process 1A2C1, what will happen? Q1A2 plus Q2C1 is equal to W1A2 plus W2C1. This is our second equation. Now friends, subtract equation second from equation first. Equation second from equation first. I mean to say, one में से second घटा देंगे हम from 1 second. What will we find? What will we getting? Q2B1 minus Q2C1 is equal to, they are cancel out. These are cancel out. W2B1 minus W2C1. We are getting this or not, friends? Are you getting or what? We are getting this or not? Now rearranging. Let's rearrange this. How we are rearranging this? Take W2B1 terms on one side and 2C1 terms on another side. Let Q2B1 minus sorry, W2V1 is equal to Q2C1 minus W2C1. Now we can rearrange the terms. Okay, now what will happen? What will happen, friends? Say this term as a x, this term as x, say this term as x. So we can write as Q2B1 is equal to W2B1 plus x. What is the value of x? Is it 0? What is the value of x? Is it 0? Let us say it is equation 3. Is it 0, friends? Friends, if B and C are different, if B and C are different, we cannot say that x is 0. X cannot be 0 because these two processes are different. Because these two processes are different. So we can say that because area under the curve, this area is different from this area. So the work done for W2B1 not equal to W2C1. So we can say that x is not equal to 0. इससे हमें क्या पता लगेगा? What will we find? What will we find? It means Q2B1 not equal to Q2C1. क्या मिलेगा फ्रेंड्स हमें? Q2B1 is not equal to Q2C1. It means it is not a point function. It means it is a path function. The path followed by the process is representing the net heat transfer. So we can say that heat transfer is a path function. Are you getting a point? We can find out the discussion from this discussion that heat transfer is a path function, friends. Okay, path function. Heat transfer is a path function. Okay. Now another term comes. What another term comes? That we can say that energy is a property. How we can say that energy is a property? How we can say that energy is a property, friends? Let us say this is a relation, its value is 4. How we can say that energy is a property? Second is how we can say that energy is property, friends? From equation 4th, this is equation 4th, this is equation 4th. What you are getting from this equation? If we are rearranging this from this equation, what we are getting? We are getting Q2B1 minus Q2C1 is equal to Q2C1 minus Q2B1. What these terms contain? What this term contain? Net energy input. What this term contain? Net energy input. And what this term contain? Net energy output. Are you getting my point? We can say that del Q minus del W is equal to what this is contain? Energy, dE. It is applied for a process. It is applied for a process. So we can write here del Q minus del W is equal to dE. It is also a first law of thermodynamics. For process, it is valid for a process only, on a single process, because this is a single process. This is a single process. Are you getting what? This is a single process. Is process during 1 to 2, 1A2, Q1 supplied, W1 rejected during a process must be equal to energy, change in energy. This is our first law for a process. Are you getting my point? First law for a process. What are the conditions on this law is valid? What are the conditions, friends? Basically, two conditions. First of all, from the basic, we are going to, this is a closed system analysis. One is closed system, and second is it is valid for both reversible and irreversible. Reversible and irreversible. We cannot specify till now. The process is reversible or irreversible. We cannot discuss about like that. If the process is reversible or irreversible, anything, both can happen. So it is valid for both reversible and irreversible process and for a closed system. Okay, friends. So till now what we are getting from this analysis, only the two things. First of all, heat transfer is a path function, energy is a property, and the third one is the relation we are getting. First relation is second relation is okay, friends. So it is for a cycle, valid for cycle. It is for process, a single process. Are you getting a point? Now, friends, process इसकी क्या होनी चाहिए? क्लोज सिस्टम. और क्या है? रिवर्सिबल एंड इरिवर्सिबल बोथ. वैलिड फॉर रिवर्सिबल एंड इरिवर्सिबल बोथ. ओके. Now suppose this contain energy, total energy, and we know energy can be internal energy plus kinetic energy plus potential energy. If we say that the system is stationary, neglect the kinetic energy, neglect the potential energy, then the relation becomes dQ is equal to, so dQ minus dW is equal to du. U is used for internal energy. dQ minus dW is equal to du, friends. Okay, dQ minus dW is equal to du. So we are reaching there. Now this is dW. Okay, if other works neglected, other works, we are what are other works? Like shaft work. What are the shaft work, electric work? If we neglect this and only boundary work consider, then the relation becomes friends, dQ minus PdV. We know that the relation of work done we can find out from earlier. PdV is equal to du. This is the relation. What is the condition for this relation? What is the condition for this relation? First one is closed system. Second one is quasi-static reversible process. This is valid for quasi-static process only. Okay, friends. Closed system, quasi-static reversible, and kinetic energy and potential energy 0. Okay, friends, are you getting my point? Kinetic and potential energy 0. This is for boundary work. So this is all about the relations. Okay, friends. So till now we were discussing the first law. This is all about the first law, very interesting law, and many numericals get on these concepts, these relations they can directly use. But the thing is very important to know where which formula is applicable, because there are conditions, closed system process. You will remember all these conditions. Okay, friends. So now what we'll do next? The third one. The third is, we can do the two consequences. One is heat transfer is a path function, and another is energy is a property, and the third one is energy of an isolated system remains constant. Energy of isolated system remains constant. Friends, what do you understand by isolated? What is isolated? The term isolated. Isolate, there is no interactions, means dq is equal to 0. Isolated means dq is equal to 0. Okay. Now, energy of an isolated system. Suppose this is a system and we can isolate this like that. Okay, friends, is there any piston or anything which can be perform the boundary work? This is a closed system process. For a closed system process, boundary work is 0. dw is 0. We can neglect other work. There is no other work. So, dq is 0, dw is 0. Then from the relation, dq minus dw is equal to what? Is equal to what? dE. This is 0, this is 0. Then change in energy, total change in energy is 0. Change in energy is 0. We can say that what? If change in energy is 0, energy input is equal to energy output. So, energy of total system will remain constant. Energy of isolated system will constant. Hope you understand it well. And the fourth consequence is what, friends? Fourth is perpetual motion. Perpetual motion of machine. Perpetual motion of machine of first kind is impossible. What is perpetual meaning? What is perpetual? Perpetual means never ending, which can never ends, which can grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Okay, which can never ends. There is no end for perpetual. Perpetual means never ends. Okay. Perpetual motion of machine of first kind is impossible. What does it mean? Suppose this is our system. This is a machine. Okay. Without energy input, we can continuously getting what? Work. Is it possible? Without any energy input, we can continuously getting work and work. Is it possible? No. It is basically what? It violates the first law. First law tells us energy input must be equal to energy output. Net energy remains conserved. They said energy input is 0. There is no energy. Only work output is coming from. It is not possible. This is the fourth consequence. Perpetual motion of machine of first kind is not possible. Okay, friends. So this is basically of the consequences of first law. If you enjoying the video, you can share to your friends so that maximum people are able to utilize the education. Hope you enjoying this video. Thank you so much. If any query related to anything, you can mail us on our email ID or you can WhatsApp me. I am here for you. Thank you.